What's up, y'all, and thanks for stopping by the Surge T channel. I am Surge T, and tonight I'll be doing my video, my rundowns and thoughts on AEW Dynamite for the 8th of September 2021. And he started off with a recap of All Out, and what a fucking awesome event it was. History making. That's it. That's all I gotta say. Those of you who saw it know what I'm talking about. Nothing else needs to be said. It's all still in our mind, it's all still fresh in our thoughts. One of the best damn pay-per-views that I've seen this year and in some time. Now let's go to the first match, and that is Dustin Rhodes. Excuse me. Would be great if you saw Dusty Rhodes again, but he's long passed, and may he rest in peace always. But his son Dustin Rhodes, the Natural, goes up against Malachi Black, hoping to make him pay for what he's done to his family and also to the Nightmare family. And a side note that Excalibur is getting married, and Taz is taking his place at the commentary desk. So best of wishes to Excalibur and his bride. Now onto the match, and Jr. loves a slobber knocker, and Dustin was taking it to Black, but nope. It's only a matter of time. Even after Dustin Rhodes was giving it to Black, he's absorbing all that, all those punches, elbows, drop kicks, what have you. He was absorbing that. It seems like he just got stronger and stronger. And then Black just ends up systematically taking apart the Natural. And then he connects with that spinning heel kick and wins the match. They still haven't had a name for it. They just call it a spinning back kick, I guess. I guess that's the name of it for now, you know. And whatever you want to call it, even if you don't call it anything, he has taken out every single member so far of the Nightmare family. Who's left? I think I saw something there that said that Cody is coming back. I seen it on a headline or something, maybe on the thumbnail on YouTube. But let's see what happens when Cody comes back. Is they're gonna have resume their feud? See if Cody can get some payback. If not, he's gonna end up being back on the injured list again, or on the you know what I mean. Now, your new tag team champs say they gave blood, sweat, and tears in the steel cage at All Out. And if anyone wants to challenge them, the new champs, they're ready. And let's see who does step up to challenge the new tag team champs, the Lucha Bros. Now, Eddie Kingston and Miro had an amazing opening match at All Out. And are they done with each other yet? Doesn't look like it. They still got some words and trading some insults at each other. So I could go for another match between these two. CM Punk is in the ring, and he thanks Sting, Darby, and the fans. And you still got it, chants ring out, and Punk says thank you. He says he is a Minoru Suzuki and John Moxley fan, and he said he will watch that main event like a fan. And he points out Brian Pillman's aunt. I believe that's her. I kind of thought that his mom, but it's not. It's not Brian Pillman's mom. It's what do you call it? It's his aunt, the one that she was on the that Dark Side of the Ring documentary, and talks about her, acknowledges her, has absolute love for her, and that's awesome, especially what she's been doing especially for Brian Pillman. I call it Junior and stuff like that, watching out for him and everything. And then he also acknowledges Ruby Soho and Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson. And then he said that he texted his wife. His wife says, "What's next?" And he's all saying, "Who's next?" I mean, And I'm like, "Oh no, here comes Taz." He reverts back to heel manager mode. And then the crowd boos him. And then he says that, "Don't you mention any member of Team Taz. Don't let it come out of your mouth." And it's like he didn't. He even says he didn't. And I'm thinking, like, who does? Does anybody say anything? That like, and then he's talking about later on, because this happened later on. He said that Punk had said something during an interview or something, but then it's revealed that Tony Khan that said that Punk had a list of people he wants to face. You know, he's not saying that, oh, he's calling them out and things like that. I mean, Taz plays the tough guy. You know what I'm saying? But he's great on commentary. I have no problem with him commentating. But it's just like, why does he always do that? You know, you know what I mean? And then he had to calm down, and he calmed down later on, and he had some funny barbs and some funny like lines. And I'm just thinking, you know, like it really looked this dumb that he steps up and he starts trying to be tough guy, heel manager Taz calling out Punk, and Punk didn't even say nothing about nothing about Team Taz. I don't get that shit, you know. But then Punk says, bring Starks, bring Hook, bring Powerhouse Hobbs, and then he says that all four of you beat me if you can, and survive if I let you. And man, that was like a little dig at Taz because that's what Taz used to say, especially during the time when they were. It's like a little vignette that was hinting at him coming to WWE back in the day, and you hear him say "survive," you know, like that, and it's like, you know, that he would say that, and it's just like a little bit of, like I said, a jab at him. And Taz got a little heated, and he was kind of heated for a little while after that. And then Jr. and Tony had to calm him down a bit, and they're asking him during the evening, I was, "Are you calm now? Are you calm now?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah," you know what I mean. So he kind of brought it on himself. So I don't understand why he's why he was getting all heated for. Now Hobbs with Hook in his corner is going to go against Dante Martin, who's been on a roll, you know. And let's take a look at the other things they showed before this match happened. They had Ortiz and Santana. They have now shifted their focus on other teams, and they're going to climb the rankings and get to the top and go after those tag team titles and ask anyone to try and stop them. Now, Ruby Soho is with Tony Schiavone, and she takes an open challenge. She issued an open challenge. She said she wanted to show that she didn't get lucky at All Out. And then Britt Baker comes out. She appears with, Jamie Hayter and Ruby, or Rebel, or whatever her name is this week. And both women exchange pleasantries, quote unquote. And I love Britt's dig about telling her to run away because she's saying, "You're the runaway, right? Why don't you run away to catering where you spent the last 4 years?" A little jab because of her time in WWE. And then Ruby says that she helped break her into the industry. And Britt has all these nicknames, right? And she says that she only has them to show everyone what she isn't. And then finally says to Tony, does Ruby Soho, she says that the champ may be his girl, but she's going to whip his girl's ass. So, and then we go back to the match. Hobbs is destroying Dante Martin, and well, what else do you expect as Hobbs power bombs or delivers a spine buster move, and he pins Dante Martin, and a little bit of a bump in the road for Dante Martin, but I think they're building this guy up. He's building this kid up. He's the youngest tenured person or the youngest member of the roster, so he's got a long way to go, and this is just a bump in the road. He can come back from it and continue to build up his winning ways on Dark and on and on Dark Elevation. So even on Rampage if he's going to be on Rampage, but yeah, he'll be all right. Nothing wrong with that. Now Matt Hardy, this was during the or after the buy-in. I didn't see this match, but then he swears that he will cut Orange Cassidy's hair, and Orange says Matt Hardy's going to says that he's going to cut my hair, whatever. It was like a multi-man match. I think it was an 8-man match, 8-man tag team match. I think it was a Jurassic Express and maybe Orange Cassidy and somebody, and then they took on the HFO, something like that. But I didn't see the match. But they're building something between Matt Hardy and Orange Cassidy. I guess you got to keep Matt Hardy, what do you call it, busy. I guess keep him. He really went by really quick on the what do you call it, the rivalry he had or a beginning of one with Christian Cage, and then now he just keeps moving on. Like, where's his direction? Where's Matt Hardy's direction at? I mean, they're keeping him busy. That's good. Not like what they're doing with his brother, with Jeff. But now JMJF comes out, and he comes out to "You Tapped Out" chants that he did to the Lions, to Chris Jericho in the walls. Tapped him, and he talks about Cincinnati and calls it Cincinnati, and then the biggest dumpster fire in the world. Tony Schiavone is totally miffed and he's upset, saying this is the best wrestling city, and that's what I've heard, and it actually is one of the best cities when it comes to wrestling, and everything. And he says that it's called the Mid Coast because every single thing in it is mid. Skyline Chili, he says Cincinnati Reds, who haven't won a World Series since 1990, and everyone who lives here is mid. And he even challenges anyone to jump the railing and get in the ring, but no one will because they're cowards. It's kind of funny how he did that. Remember when him and Jericho were going at it in the ring, and then that one fat fan goes in there, and then Jericho's the one that hit him. And I like how MJF said that he's gonna. Remember that one day he goes, I'll punch everyone you like that fat thing, something like that. I don't think he even drew a punch. I think they even showed it on a video. I don't think he did. And I'm just thinking, what are you talking about? You didn't even try. Jericho did, you know. And then he proceeds to insult Brian Pillman's aunt and Brian Pillman's daughter. He's all calling, and then she points out that she pointed that out, because he was calling her 16 and pregnant, and it was Roseanne. Maybe he was saying Roseanne to their aunt. I don't know. It's one of those things, And then MGF then goes and insults his Brian Pillman's mother. Because Brian Pillman's mother had a drug problem, and he said stuff like, he got really personal and saying stuff like, if she would have been a baby making machine or something, but she swallowed. And in 28 years earlier, if he had done the same, Brian Pillman, wouldn't be here or something like that. I'm just thinking, I said, God damn, he's got to live he'll do this shit in outside of AEW as well. The guy lives his gimmick, you know what I mean? And to say that shit, I'll say that kind of definitely drew the ire of Brian Pillman. And he gets in there, and then he gets beat down, and so does his partner Griff Garrison. And then Brian Pillman, I think he's starting to move up the ranks now. He's starting to get put in situations like, no, he's in there. He's going to be in a program with MJF. That's pretty good. That's a good way to build him up. You know what I mean? And this is a guy who's carrying on a really big legacy that is from his father, who I was a fan of, and I love Brian Pillman. I love the psychotic ways, the way he's like the original like Dean Ambrose, the original John Moxley. He was a guy that I'm pretty sure John Moxley, kind of looked up to, but was a big fan of. Don't know that for sure, but it would be surprised me. So it's going to be great to see Brian Pillman Jr. continually being built up like he is right now. Now, Mox, he has a lot of moxie, and says that Minoru Suzuki doesn't scare him. Doesn't scare him. And that he is in jungle, baby, and he is going to die. Quoting that line from Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses. And I'm going, and we'll see what happens in their main event later on. Now, Jamie Hayter, she takes on Ruby Soho in her Dynamite debut. Ruby Soho is in her Dynamite debut. If I read that, it kind of sounds like I'm saying Jamie Hayter is going to be taking her on in her Dynamite debut. But no, it's Ruby Soho. And it was a pretty good match. Decent, there's one man thing where Ruby was sitting on the shoulders of Jamie Hayter, and then she kind of flips it around so that she totally slams Jamie Hayter's face into the mat. It looked really, really like there was like unchoreographed or unprepared, like they weren't prepared to do that. And then Tony, I think it was Tony that said that. Is that like, it's like the Taz? Isn't that like a flatliner? Because he kind of slammed her face into the man. It kind of did. But then Taz was saying that, it was just a way that these guys kind of just did it to where they were able to, it just happened that way, And sometimes that happens, and these guys have to transition in while they're doing the move. And sometimes you have to make a quick decision. Okay, we're going to do it this way or something like that. And it looked like it was a move that wasn't planned, but, it was something that I think kind of took Jamie Hayter out, But she still stuck in there. But then in the end, Ruby hits the Riot Kick. Well, that's what it was named in WWE. But here, I guess, is it called the Soho Kick in AEW? I don't know. But, she wins the match. But then she gets laid out by all three, Rebel, Jamie Hayter, and Britt Baker. But then Riho comes in. Nice, great seeing Riho. But then she gets laid out as well. But then Statlander comes in, the one who challenged Britt to the world title, to the women's world title, and she comes in and she runs the bullies out of the ring, and then you see her. What I like about Chris Statlander, she cares about her girls there. Her, she sits, she props the chair up, lets Ruby sit on there, and then she has Riho sit on her knee, like I sit on her lap, and she's just hugging them and stuff like that. I'm going, man, she really is such a caring individual, isn't she? A resident alien is really you know, really a caring human being. You know what I mean? Even though she comes from the Andromeda, what do you call it, the Andromeda galaxy or something like that, right? You know, so aliens are nice. I guess. But I like that, and it was revealed that they're going to be all three of those ladies are going to take on uh, Britt, Rebel, and Jamie Hayter next week. So that's going to be a fun match. That's going to be a fun. I think it's going to be on Rampage. I think because they announced a number of matches on Rampage. So I think that's it, or either that or it's on Dynamite. But either way, we're going to get to see them wrestling that trios match with featuring three of the top ladies in the in AEW. Now, Brian Cage and Ricky Starks, they've had enough of each other, and they are headed towards a collision. Well, at least I hope so, because Cage really needs to move on from this clown and the rest of the clowns in Team Taz. Let them go somewhere else. Why are they focusing on Cage still? Cage needs to be a main eventer. He needs to be someone that's going after the world title or the TNT title or something. Instead of before all this time he was lugging around that joke of a title, the FTW title. It means nothing. You know what I mean? Now, move on with FTR and Shawn Spears versus the Dark Order in trios actions. And Anna Jay backstage, she lays down the law in regards to the Dark Order family. Hey, we're family. Knock it off. Get it together. And they pretty much are like, listen to her like she's the mother. She's the one. I guess she's the calming influence over these guys, and they're like at each other's throats, and they're like, we're gonna see whether or not it's gonna come to a head here. Who knows? You know what I mean? But and then we see a kind of a triple team, and we end up seeing a DVD, a Death Valley driver by Spears, and puts John Silver away, and then it's like we'll just put the relationship of the Dark Order on even thinner ice, and then we see these guys, Stu Grayson charging across the ring, going after John Silver. We see Evil Uno in there, and we see Colt Cabana trying to be the calming influence there, telling them, hey, you know what it is. And then you see Anna Jay coming down the rampway. She was trying to run down, but then Tay Conti hold her back. And then you see Stu Grayson going, like he's trying to say that he doesn't want this to happen. He doesn't mean for this to happen. And you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, these guys got to remember the memory of Brody Lee. Would Brody Lee approve? They got to think about that, Maybe his son will come back, and maybe his son will be the voice of reason. Where's the little guy been? He's probably back at school, maybe. I don't know. But where's the little Brody Jr.? But anyway, the ladies talk casino battle royale. The participants, well, some of the main ones. We see Tay Conti and Anna Jay. We saw Thunder Rosa, who was one of the final two, losing out to Ruby Riot. Even Ruby Riot. Ruby. So she even said, that okay, I lost, but this doesn't mean that takes my my focus away from the world title. And then some of the other ladies, even Jade Cargill, she's like, what this taught me is that I'm not going to trust anybody. Because she actually had an alliance with somebody. I think it was with Nyla Rose, and then she got eliminated by her. So it's like, yeah, but why are you going to... A temporary alliance, but you better watch your back at the same time. Like, it's one of those things where someone pats you on the shoulder, but they got a knife in the other one, ready to stab you in the back. So you got to be careful, you know what I'm saying? And then... Tully Blanchard's interviewed, and he says that Shawn Spears and Darby Allin, he wants a match between these guys. It was confirmed that it will happen next week, and that he even says that there will be a time for Tully Blanchard and Sting. I'm like, wow, really? You know what I mean? Like, we saw Tully Blanchard wrestle maybe a few months ago, and he still got it. Sting still got it too. So let's see. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Kind of a throwback to WCW, NWA, go back in the days. You know what I mean? I wouldn't mind seeing that. And now Griff Garrison is back in the trainer's office recovering. Alex Marvez says, hey, how is your partner here recovering? And Bill Pillman's like, well, what do you think? Take a look. Take a look at how my partner's recovering. And then he says that it's confirmed that he and MJF will be facing each other at the Arthur Ashe Stadium on the 22nd of this month, September, at the Dynamite Grand Slam. But then on Rampage, he finds out that he's going to have to face the world's worst rapper, Max Caster, because he's shit. He sucks. And he's from the Acclaimed. He's his partner. I don't even know his name yet. And they're going to go at it in a one-on-one match. That's going to be a good match, I guess. Max Caster isn't a slouch in the ring. But it's funny. It's amazing that his career in AEW was saved, especially because of that horse shit that he did when he was doing a rap. What was that thing that he did a rap on, and then it was controversial because it called out something that it was a sensitive topic at the time. I'm trying to remember, but I can't right now because it's so late in the evening now, and I'm worn out, especially because I just got home from work as well. But lucky for him, he made his comeback. I mean, you don't want to lose your job, especially after saying something stupid. But yeah, he's going to be taking on, was that him? Yeah, it was him. I think it was. I might be wrong, but then again, I don't follow those guys. I really don't care about about the Acclaimed. Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison, they're a tag team that I'm looking at all the time, and I'm focused on them because they are really a great team. Now, let's go to the interview. Tony Schiavone interviews Adam Cole and the Elite. Then Omega was voted the #1 wrestler in PWI on the PWI Pro Wrestling Illustrated list, and I don't disagree. I'm not a fan, but at the same time, I don't deny that the guy can go. But it's a good accomplishment. Not many people, can go out there and wrestle every night and do that stuff and be on that list, let alone be #1. Pretty impressive. Now, Matt Jackson, I noticed, he better not get in a scuffle because he's wearing a nose ring that's connected to his ear. And if you got into a tussle, all somebody got to do is just grab that shit and fucking pull it. And that's it. Half of his nose going to be gone and his ear's going to be dangling. I don't know why you wear something like that, especially if you know that you might get into a little bit of a scuffle. And then Cole is announced and kicks Tony out of the ring, and warns him not to look at his girl in any way. If he does, he's going to knock them glasses off his face, kick his ass. And he actually mentioned his girlfriend, who's Dr. Britt Baker. Now, he says that he may be new to AEW, but he has been all elite for a long time. And the Elite is why AEW is where it is. He's given all, the success of AEW and pointing it to his friends. This is why he's successful, because of the Elite. And we should all thank them. I thank Omega. I thank, the Bucks. You know what I mean? It's like, and then Adam Cole says that he is going to make his in-ring debut next week, and it's revealed that it's going to be against the Elite Hunter, Kazarian. When is he going to start killing some Elite members? Maybe he could start with Adam Cole, but I doubt it. Adam Cole's at the top of his game, and I don't think Kazarian, a ring veteran, a great wrestler himself, but don't know if he has what it takes to take out the newest member of the Elite, that is Adam Cole. And then Omega takes the mic, and he says he hates interruptions. And then he is interrupted by Bryan Danielson yet again, like at what happened at All Out. He's interrupted again. And then Omega says, "Hey, y'all step out the ring. Don't be afraid." He invites Danielson in to the ring. And like I said, his boys all outside. They're not going to be in the ring. And then Bryan Danielson says, "Do we want to see Danielson versus Omega?" But Omega says it doesn't work that way, says Daniel Bryan. And Omega's afraid to take this match because he's not on his level. And then he puts Omega quickly into an armbar, and the Elite pounce. And they start, beating on and working over Bryan Danielson, but then Jurassic Express and Christian Cage and the Elite Hunter Kazarian take on and take out the Elite. And Brandon Cutler ends up eating a flying knee from Bryan Danielson. You see him crawling. I guess he thought that his boys were still in the ring. He looks up, and he gets taken out. And that's the end of that segment. And it was a pretty good segment. I had a feeling that Bryan Danielson was going to come out during this segment. Pretty good, because I got to tell you, as much as I enjoy AEW. I enjoyed the segments too, but there's quite a lot of in-ring interviews and stuff like that. And I thought AEW talked about it was going to be all wrestling because they don't want to do this. I mean, I love the segments and how they do them. They're great, well produced. I love these guys on the mic and like how they cut promos really good. But you gotta kind of cut it down a bit because people want to see wrestling. And you guys said you're going to be all about wrestling, but then here you are with all these promos and segments and shit. Now the King, Minoru Suzuki, a 33-year veteran. And here's some facts about him. He has over 2,100 matches under his belt. He's a three-time world champion, an MMA innovator. People call him the Godfather in MMA. That's what Taz called him. And then he's a 2017 Wrestling Observer Hall of Famer. A lot of great accolades there, and no surprise, especially what people are saying about this guy. And it's the first time me seeing him wrestle. And actually, February was the last time that these two actually met. He actually had actually met. It was for the IWGP US title, which Mox won. You know, he won that night. And so this is pretty much a way for, I guess, for Minoru Suzuki to try to take that win back and put himself in the win column. And I can tell you, Suzuki, there's no surprise. He's the one that starts with trading of blows. And we are in for a match that will be a true definition of a slobber knocker, as JR described it earlier. He says, "You want the slobber knockers? Here we go, guys. You know, this is the kind of match that you want." And then we see headbutts galore at one point. I mean, trading headbutts, and then one point they both headbutt each other at the same time, and then they just both drop to the mat. And then we see a sleeper attempt and a gotch style pile driver by Minoru Suzuki. He's known for his sleepers and that gotch style pile driver, but it's avoided. And then Mox connects with a paradigm shift DDT. And then the match goes on a little bit. And then he hits another one later, and then he gets the pin and leaves the ring. He actually busted open Suzuki. You know, blood over his eye, everything. And I think that's what everybody wanted, and that's what we got is some blood. A piece of Minoru Suzuki left in the ring, and I think Mox also left us a piece of himself in that ring. And I tell you, man, it was a pretty good hard hitting match. I loved it. I loved everything about AEW Dynamite. You know, especially after watching that piece of shit, horse shit, mess of a three-ring circus, Raw. At least I got to see NXT, and that kind of cleansed the palate. And then this one really just made everything just cleared my head up with any kind of, evil, bad thoughts that I had because of Raw. I finally got to see an amazing, 2 hours of wrestling. And I swear, I'm looking forward to what I call next week, and I'm looking forward to the upcoming pay-per-view in November yet, and that is all Full Gear. They haven't said anything about Full Gear yet. I don't know what they have planned for Full Gear, what matches are going to go into that. It's still pretty early, about a month away, so they can still have time to plan some stuff and put some feuds and rivalries and programs into motion. If I could think, I mean, what's gonna probably Daniel Bryan and what do you call it? Daniel Bryan and Adam Cole. That could be a good headlining match. They met each other for the NXT Championship on the main roster. Remember during the 2019, I believe it was, or 2018, where they had that NXT versus SmackDown versus Raw, and he was the NXT champion at the time. Adam Cole, he defended it against Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan didn't win it, but that was the first time that it was defended on or first time in a long time. But but it was defended on the main roster on Monday Night Raw. Was it Monday Night Raw? I think so. But it was defended, and so they have a history. They've met each other before in WWE, so in AEW, that'll be a great thing. I would like to see that as maybe even the main event at Full Gear, but if not, it's definitely. I feel like that's definitely going to be a match that they're going to probably add to that card, and then maybe build the rest of the card around it. That's what they usually do, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, that's my video for AEW Dynamite. My rundown of thoughts for the 8th of September 2021. So for those of you who stopped by and checked out my video, I appreciate it very much. And in closing, as always, take care.